we expect on the program.
Well, how would you folks like to watch Rob Dibble pitch against Jose Canseco?
Now, see, that's just not going to happen. But maybe we can get some stories about the playing career of one Rob Dibble.
There's no way to wash your cup, although I used to take alcohol in mine, and that's how I got the stank out of my cup. That was my own personal thing. But there was guys that would come around behind you and put their cup on your face like it was an oxygen mask. That was when I wanted to fight.
Oh, for crying out loud, just send it to where they're doing the show from.
And now live from Dunkin Park in Hartford, here's Rob Dibble.
And that's our wonderful Kurt Kaplan, who's back in the studio. But he'll be over here later.
We got Sour Patch Kids for you,
We
Kurt.
do, Kurt. We got all kinds of food. So the wife and I, because the Yard Goats were so nice to give us a suite, we ordered food for everybody.
That's dumb.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be feeding you so much food here while you're at Dibble Bobblehead
So we got
night.
Bears Barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
We got some other stuff that'll be in there. And then, of course, the alcohol's right outside.
It's a big night tonight,
It
ladies
is,
and
man.
gentlemen.
I'm proud.
It's the Dibble Bobblehead night at the Yard Goats. They're taking on the Flying Squirrels, the baseball secondary today. Big guys throwing out the first pitch. And, man, I haven't broken the one that I've gotten out yet. This is the first bobblehead version I have seen. You've seen it a bunch of times. Did they have like a proof meeting where you?
They
had to
did. Well,
approve
they
everything?
had like a claymation guy.
Ooh, cool.
So first Tim Restall sent me the claymation, and he's like, "Do you like that?" I'm like, "Dude, I love it because it's almost identical to the picture from Dodger Stadium that's on baseball cards and some posters that I have of my leg kick, and it's probably one of my favorite pictures." Because you can see everything. There's so much detail. You can see my gold chain in my back pocket.
Awesome.
Being a Catholic, I had, I think it's Mary and Jesus and a cross that was given to me that was blessed by the Pope.
Nice.
And,
So that's why you pitched so well.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
I had somebody on my side as well every time. I knew it's me and God against everybody.
So first 1,500 that come
first
to the Goats
1,500,
tonight.
you're getting one of Rob Dibble's bobbleheads.
I think we still have some tickets available. You can just show up.
And if you see me, I will sign your box. I will sign the box.
Dibs,
if you see me.
he will sign your box. And then he's going to be throwing out the
pleasure.
first pitch. So we're going to be here all the way till the first pitch. I know Yankees will start their pregame at 6, but we will physically be here at the front gate for everybody. But the first 1,500 get this beautiful bobblehead tonight, Dibs. And, man, I am impressed. They have – obviously you're wearing a Yard Goats uniform, but it says Southington across the front.
Right.
That detail right there is only for people from Connecticut.
Yeah.
If you come from Cincinnati to get the Dibble bobblehead at the Yard Goats, you'll be like, Southington? What in the heck is Southington? I thought this was the Hartford Yard Goats.
But if they're smart, they would know that Chris Denorfia is from Southington High.
Right.
That obviously Carl Pavano is from Southington High. There's a couple of world champions coming out of that high school. We put a lot of people, not only in the big leagues, but in a lot of other sports.
Oh, for sure.
It's not Moeller High School, but for Connecticut, I think it's you got to be proud. You say this, be loud and proud all the time. And honestly, they did me right. I'm very blessed. It's like what Donnie Marshall just said, and honestly, I believe it. Some of us are truly blessed and living a life that we don't deserve. And honestly, I love the Yard Goats people. I love being a part of their family, and Tim Restall and Josh Solomon. It's awesome. It's honestly, because I've got one from the big leagues. I've got a couple of minor league ones.
I love the minor league ones.
One looks like I don't know.
Like
it looks like I have
Jose
jaundice.
Canseco's second cousin more than you are.
No, I would honestly, if I
Connecticut.
looked brown, if I had a tan, I wouldn't be upset. It's yellow. It's a yellow jaundice look, like when kids need to be put under a sun lamp because they have jaundice. Yeah, it's not a great bobblehead. This one's amazing.
This one looks pretty close. You got a little party in the back as well.
I got business in the front, party in the back. I have a goatee. They've got the black glove.
I'm thinking it's more resembling of Tim Wakefield in the face.
It might be. You know what? But you can't get a bobblehead to be perfect. I mean, honestly, it's way handsomer than me.
Yeah, it is.
And
it's more clean cut. I'll tell you what.
I'm
less afraid of that.
Although I just got a haircut today.
Game day cut.
Just got my haircut today. So
Game day cut.
Got that big event coming up on the 9th, which I'm still stressing about.
Yeah, Connecticut National Guard.
But this is easy. This is where I feel most comfortable being able to throw out the first pitch. I don't have to have any velocity, just accuracy.
And big thanks to the Yardgoats for setting us up today.
Absolutely.
Like, it was just honestly like, hey, we want to do the show. Of course you guys are going to do the show out here. Like, all the little nooks and crannies of this place are crazy at how many details they have to think about on a game day, and for them to worry about us is just something special. And they do details. I'm big on details. The more you can take care of little details for people, the more that they will love and appreciate everything you do. Tim Restall has gotten us a basket of goodies, including some of those Sour Patch Kids.
Mike and Ike, Sour Patch, Swedish Fish, some chips, some water.
But the other detail is we've done the show from this location sometimes before, and one thing that we've been aware of, because it's hard to not notice, is batting practice will be going on while we do our show. And a couple of years ago, we had some hot shots that went – now, this is pre-netting, right?
This was pre-netting before Major League Baseball, and then Minor League Baseball followed suit, started putting up netting to protect the fans on the first level. I want to say
Restall beat Major League Baseball, didn't he?
I think they did. I think the Yardgoats put this up before. I think there were 3 stadiums in the big leagues that did it. Then a lot of minor league stadiums started following suit, and then the rest of the major leagues kind of got guilted into it.
So – back then, it was easier for a foul ball to come up to here where we are doing the broadcast. Right outside the first opening gate when you come into the dunk, you'll see us right to your right. And poor Dana, one of the PA announcers that started with the Yardgoats when they came to town, she was up hanging with us. Foul balls were coming. We were telling people, watch out, foul balls, foul balls. Dana got smoked. Oh, that was a tough one to watch. Since then, we have one minor request for us doing our show, and that is an L screen just in case. Just in case.
Yep.
So we're in the middle of the action, whether it's batting practice or whether you're coming to the game. But we're going to be doing the show out here all day today. It's a special day. It's Dibble Bobble Day. And, man, it would have been something if your Reds got no hit last night. And
oh, my God, that was so close. Alex Cobb was rolling, and
he was.
The Giants were dominating the Reds, and now they're 69 and 63. The Redlegs are 68 and 66, and falling fast. I mean, this is not the time to fall out of contention in the wild card because the Milwaukee Brewers are hot. The Cubs are hot. They're only 4 out of first place. Man, your Cubs are 8 over 500 right now. I mean,
it's been a while.
But I don't think anybody saw that coming. I think they stayed pat. They added on at the trade deadline, and that was some of the motivational stuff by keeping Bellinger. That was like, all right, you know what? And you got that kid. I think he was from the Pirates.
Candelaria?
Candelaria.
The Candyman.
So, adding on just a few little – they don't have to be all-stars. They just have to be enough to where it's like – they actually care about us. They actually were thinking in the front office, you guys need a couple of pieces. It's kind of like we see Belichick adding on pieces right now, right before the season starts. This is because he knows these are the holes that have to be plugged. When Major League Baseball does it, it's huge. Right now, and I know we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but you've got a lot of teams are putting players on waivers. Now, this is not a disrespect thing. This is not like you're falling out of favor with our team. This is a lot of it is money-saving tactics.
Right.
If your team, let's say the Cubs pick up one of my Reds, or even Josh Donaldson or any of these other guys that are put on waivers, and he was released outright. So, again, you wouldn't have to pick up the salary part. You just have to pick up the rest of the season salary prorated. But anybody put on waivers, and it starts from the bottom up. So the Mets would have an option, let's say, if you put a Chicago Cub guy on waivers, if you put a Red guy on waivers, if you put a Dodger guy on waivers, the Mets, the Cardinals actually have a worse record. Actually, the Colorado Rockies would have the first dibs on that player.
Okay.
They're not going to take him. They're not in contention.
They don't want to pay him.
So it goes from the bottom up to who can take your guy, and whoever takes him gets the last month of their salary. Now, if they have another couple of years on their contract, you pick up that as well. So picking up a guy off of waivers is not like, hey, we're sick of all these guys that were just put out there. What team just put a bunch of people out there? The Angels. It doesn't mean you don't like Lucas Giolito. It's like you don't want his money, though, for the last month of the season. That's some spending capital that these people have going into the offseason.
I'm just, there was an article today on ESPN.com on their MLB section about who made a good decision during the trade deadline. And obviously everybody's looking at the Shohei Ohtani keep that the Angels just did, and now what you're saying is basically dumping payroll where they're backtracking like, all right, that was a mistake. I wish we would have done things different. With Cody Bellinger, that was the linchpin for the Chicago Cubs.
Right.
And again, I've heard stories where Dansby Swanson went up to Jed Hoyer and basically decided that they are going to – was that? Oh, no. I got you.
For whatever reason. Well, I think Hard Knocks
Hey,
been
Kurt,
fun.
we're
I mean,
back.
With
Do you
Aaron Rodgers.
really?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, I don't know if they'll live up to the hype. It's just been fun. You haven't seen Aaron Rodgers.
But you have. Welcome back to the Rob Dibble Show. Let's see if the guys are back at Dunkin Park.
Oh, we are. We dropped for some reason. I don't know why. We had a connection issue. And where did we leave off, Kurt? What did we give? Because we were just rapping
We
about.
were just rambling about stuff.
We got into a fist fight over the Cubs and the Angels. We cooled off, and did we? Maybe we pulled the power on that one. But anyway, what I was saying with the linchpins of both of these guys is that Angels keeping Ohtani now had really put them in a spot.
Put them in a bind.
Keeping Bellinger, however, for the Cubs
Was huge.
really worked out.
Yep.
And, still don't know what the future holds as far as next year, but I just applaud those teams that tried to do what they thought was best, and now they're dealing with it here as we go into September. You never know. But, man.
But I think you take that as it comes. A lot of times a free agent like Cody Bellinger who gave you 1 year, $17 million, kind of a bargain both ways because you didn't have to get 2-3 years locked in to Cody Bellinger.
Right.
But he falls in love with Chicago. And he says, listen, I want to play here. I'm having one of my best career years here, hitting 317 after he's been basically the last 4 or 5 years hitting 217.
Right.
So he's like 100 points over where he's been, pounding out home runs again, showing his power. So, yeah, he may get offered a lot to go somewhere else, but he may choose to stay with the Chicago Cubs. Now, some of these other guys, you're still trading these guys for the future and control of them. So some of the moves you make are also, hey, listen, this guy just signed a 3-year extension. Chris Sale, when you traded from the White Sox to the Red Sox, that 3 years with Chris Sale was fantastic for the Red Sox and Sale. And then obviously he got an extension, and he chose to stay with the Boston Red Sox. So I think a lot of times you kind of, I don't know, you go out of your way to try to, say, you know what, this could happen. And so you compensate and you make trades where maybe you didn't have to,
right?
Or you you trade a guy who might have been free agent and come right back. Look at Aroldis Chapman. They traded Aroldis Chapman to the Chicago Cubs. He wins a World Championship. Guess where he went back to signing?
Exactly.
With the New York Yankees. So sometimes guys will repay you. Guys will also say, hey, you know what? I'm making a lot of money, but I know I could still bring back a few guys talent-wise, and I want to be competitive in my final years of my career. Why don't you get like 3 prospects for me? I'll waive my no trade, and I'll go. Look at Verlander.
Yeah.
Verlander, he goes back to the Astros because he was happy with the Astros. He waived his no trade. Scherzer was disappointed. He doesn't want to be on a rebuilding team. They trade him to the Texas Rangers. He's pitching well for them. They're in playoff contention. So a lot of these things, I think if you communicate to the player will reward you.
Totally agree. And I think about it all the time with the Cubs and the way they've been playing. By the way, they're playing the Brewers right now, up 2-1. We got a lot of afternoon baseball. Baltimore Orioles, let's go, losing to the White Sox as we speak. But when I see the way the other Cubs have been playing, Nico Horner, this Morel guy, if you don't know about him, watch his at-bats. They've stepped up their game because exactly what you say, and it's not just this year, it's every year. They know we're going for it. And now I got to now it's time.
Your Cubs are beating the Brewers right now.
It's
That's
time.
huge.
It's a big series. Big series.
That is huge. You're chasing the team in front of you. You're down 4 games. This would be huge if they could sweep the series.
It's going to be a great week of sports, man. We're coming up on football this weekend. Tomorrow,
hey, 1 day away.
Tomorrow.
1 day away.
I'm super excited about it. I was talking to some people last night on the phone just of the 2-touchdown dog, and I was like, dude, we were a dog in every game last year.
Yeah.
Every game. So, keep on discounting them. I was thinking about UConn's basketball team and the spreads we saw in the March Madness tournament. It's like, what is going on with the disrespect of the UConn Huskies.
Even up to the Elite Eight, Final Four, and then the finals.
Yeah.
Nobody picked UConn. And trust me, we won't forget that either.
And I won't forget those spreads because I know a lot of people who made some money off of those spreads.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just kind of absurd. And then that brings me to tomorrow being a bigger deal for the future of the – I don't want to say franchise, the future of the athletic department. If you beat NC State as a 14-point dog in a game that no one thought you would, now maybe the ACC will start turning their eye towards UConn as a possible expansion team.
Agreed.
I always –
or even Big 10, Big 12.
I've said it a couple times.
Maybe they're like, hey, you know what? Listen, the thing about the Big 10 is their athletic director with Notre Dame and is the former,
commissioner.
He's the former athletic director here.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
he went.
Sorry.
That's where he started. He went back there and stuff like that. So when you're trying to make package deals with teams, it's not a bad thing to know some of these athletic directors that used to work at
That's
UConn.
what it's all about, man. When you look
relationships,
you look up and down, especially our schedule. What Benedict has had to do to put together an independent schedule. When you're in a conference, 8-9 games, they're already slated for you. You got to go out there and wheel and deal for 3. When you're trying to put a 12-game schedule, you better have some solid relationships.
Right.
Especially a team that you're going to pay to come that could beat you, or a team like an NC State who's top 25 caliber. Why would I want to go to your school? So this home and home that signed a couple of years ago, where we played there last year, now they're playing here this year, that's a huge deal. And it doesn't come from people just making phone calls. That is a long-time relationship that has been built over years and years with our athletic director.
How do you think these kids are handling it right now for UConn? Are they nervous?
I think there's a handful that are. I think
24 hours from now, they'll be at the stadium.
I think the offense is.
Right.
I think the defense is so cranked. I want to play defense tomorrow. The team that they're playing, the offense should know very well. That defense that they saw last year is pretty much the same group with the same coaching staff that they got their doors blown off of down in Raleigh. Now, that offense is completely different from what they saw.
Sunny and 76 tomorrow.
Yeah, it's supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be
Gonna
perfect.
be beautiful.
Great football weather. But I think for the offense, like for Joe Fagnon, who's taken over at quarterback, huge opportunity for him. I'm sure he's got some nerves. I would really like to see the first pass completed just to get that shed off and maybe get in the rhythm of things.
Throw something in the flats.
Yeah.
Something nice and short.
Something nice and
get
short.
Get somebody to catch one
just
of your passes.
Just get a completion.
Right.
And we'll go from there. I don't know what's going to be in the backfield. I feel like there's 5 different guys that we're going to rotate. But I'm just really excited to see Jackson Mitchell, Eric Watts, Durante Jones, all those cats that are coming back on defense that are hungry.
18 guys coming back on offense and defense.
Well, you got to think about this, too, man. The season, that Marshall game, that could have gone so different. I mean, 3 turnovers in your own side of the ball in the first half. That's all you need in college football.
Well, listen,
that's all you need.
You and I both know in most sports you don't want to beat yourself.
Right.
Turnovers, putting the ball on the carpet, things like that, that's going to kill you. And so, or interceptions. So, and then, of course, special teams.
There's 3 things you need to win a football game, Dibs. Special teams, special teams, special teams.
Hold on to the football.
and
listen, we said this last year, and I'll say it again this year, and they did a great job, and this is why I think they won so many games. Ball control.
Yeah.
35, 40 minutes a game, keep it out of the other offense's hand, and you don't have to worry about it. And your defense stays strong.
Right.
But when the other team's on the field for 40 minutes, your defense gets tired. They can't hold down the fort for an entire 40 minutes every game.
Right. I'm excited. I'm definitely more excited this season than I ever have been living in this market.
You and me both, brother.
I think that this team is still underrated. When people ask me how many games they're going to win and I say 8, it's like, really? Yeah.
Well, you're hoping to improve every year. 1 would be 7, 2's 8. So,
I think we're winning tomorrow.
Listen, I agree. I think we're winning tomorrow. I think it's going to be an emotional thing. I think most of these guys want to get it over with. And here comes Tim Restall. So Sheriff Tim will join us next on the Rob Dibble Show, the president of the Hartford Yardgoats, live from the Dunkin. It's the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive and Kurt Kaplan on the 1s and 2s.